Let's go Falcons! You won't believe what the numbers just revealed about the Atlanta Falcons 2025 draft class. At first glance, 5 picks might seem underwhelming, maybe even disappointing for a team that many believe is on the cusp of a playoff run. But what if I told you that these 5 rookies are statistically more prepared, more experienced, and potentially more impactful than nearly half of the drafts in the league? Buckle up because the data doesn't lie and is painting an incredibly optimistic picture for the Dirty Birds. Be sure to hit that like button and follow along as I tell you all about it. Pro Football Focus recently published a ranking of all 32 NFL draft classes based on the total college snaps accumulated by each rookie class. At first glance, it seemed like Atlanta was near the bottom, 29th overall, simply because the team only selected 5 players. Of course, fewer players means fewer combined snaps. But that's where things get interesting. When you look deeper and look at average snaps per player, a completely different story emerges. Suddenly, Atlanta's draft class skyrockets to 13th in the league. Think about it, 5 guys, but they're collectively more battle-hardened than most teams that drafted 8, 9, even 11 players. And before anyone jumps in the comments saying, yeah, but those are just old guys with extra years of eligibility padding the stats, let's get one thing straight. That's not the case here. Unlike teams like the Titans, who drafted Cam Ward, a player who was in college seemingly forever, or the Jags, who grabbed Travis Hunter with his unique two-way snaps, the Falcons didn't inflate their numbers with college seniors overstaying their welcome. Let's break it down. Jalen Walker, 3 years at Georgia. James Pierce, 3 years at Tennessee. Xavier Watts, okay, 5 years at Notre Dame, but hold on. His first year was a 2-game stint before redshirting, so in reality, it's more like 4 solid seasons. Billy Bowman, 4-year guy. Jack Nelson, same story, redshirted after 1 game in 2020. No weird outliers, no gimmicks, just guys who played real, meaningful football. That right there should have every Falcons fan sitting up a little straighter, because it means these rookies are coming into Flowery Branch ready to contribute now, not 2 years from now. And that is absolutely crucial. We are not in a rebuild anymore. This is a team with Michael Penix Jr. heading into year 2 of his rookie deal, Bijan Robinson already showing signs of being a generational talent, and Drake London hungry for a breakout year. The NFC South? Wide open. The window? It's not just cracked open. It's wide open right now. This isn't the time to develop and wait. This is the time to go. And let's be real, this 5-man class isn't just about quantity, it's about star power. The front office, led by Terry Fontenot and new head coach Raheem Morris, might have absolutely nailed it. Jalen Walker, James Pierce, and Xavier Watts aren't just potential starters, they're probable starters. No doubt about it, starters. The type of foundational pieces you expect out of your first few picks, especially when those picks have to hit. When you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, it's almost shocking how much value Atlanta squeezed out of this draft. No, it's not full of flashy first-rounders or double-digit picks, but what it does have is quality, experience, and readiness. And that's a recipe for instant impact. In fact, this class might go down as one of the best Atlanta has drafted in the 21st century. Yeah, I said it. And before anyone jumps on me in the comments for being too optimistic, just take a stroll down memory lane and look at some of the draft hauls over the past 2 decades. If this group delivers even close to expectations, it's a game changer. You want proof? Look at how Jalen Walker projects. A linebacker from Georgia, national championship pedigree, high-level competition, and a player who's battle-tested in the SEC. Then James Pierce, a defensive end from Tennessee with all the makings of a future cornerstone pass rusher. And then there's Xavier Watts. Oh man, Xavier Watts. The safety from Notre Dame who, in my opinion, might be the biggest steal of the entire draft. 2-time All-American, winner of the Bronco Nagurski Award, and team captain for the Fighting Irish. This is not some developmental safety project. This is a guy who could be starting week 1 alongside Jesse Bates III. Sure, Jordan Fuller currently projects as the starter thanks to his experience in Raheem Morris's system back in LA, but let's be honest. By week 1, week 2, maybe by the preseason, Watts could very well seize that job. The instincts are off the charts. This dude isn't the fastest, he's not the biggest, but his football IQ? Elite. And when you pair that kind of mental sharpness with a veteran like Bates, Falcons fans should be downright giddy thinking about the playmaking potential in that secondary. And speaking of giddy, let's not forget about Jack Nelson. Yeah, he was a 7th-round pick, but let me tell you something, this isn't your average 7th-round flyer. Nelson is an absolute mountain of a man. 6'7", 318 pounds, with 37 starts at left tackle and 13 at right guard under his belt from his time at Wisconsin. And here's where it gets real interesting. Nelson believes his best position is right tackle. Why does that matter? Because Michael Penix Jr. is a left-handed quarterback, meaning the right tackle now protects his blind side. And guess what? Current starter Caleb McGarry is a run-first guy, not a pass protector. That is not what you want protecting a lefty's blind side. And no, before you say it, flipping Jake Matthews from left tackle to right tackle isn't happening. The guy's been a left tackle his entire career, from college at Texas A&M to the NFL. That's not a switch you make after a decade of muscle memory. So the fact that the Falcons snagged Nelson this late could be a quiet masterstroke. Let him develop for a year behind McGarry, get his feet under him in an NFL system, and come next offseason, Atlanta doesn't have to scramble for a right tackle in free agency or overdraft one. The pipeline is already in place. And all of this forward-thinking roster construction stems from a draft class that was originally written off by some because it was only 5 players deep. But when you look at the data, when you look at the average experience, the positional fits, the leadership traits, it tells a completely different story. This wasn't just a good draft. This could be a defining draft for the next era of Falcons football. Now I've got to turn it over to you. What do you think about this draft class? Do you believe the Falcons front office got it right? Are you as bullish on guys like Xavier Watts and Jack Nelson as I am? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And while the focus naturally gravitates toward the headline names like Walker, Pierce, and Watts, it's impossible to overlook the versatility that Billy Bowman brings to this roster. Bowman isn't just a depth piece, he's a Swiss Army knife in the secondary. A 4-year guy out of Oklahoma, he's proven he can line up all over the field, whether it's at nickel, safety, or even stepping up in the box. His football IQ, combined with his athleticism, means Raheem Morris has a chess piece he can move anywhere depending on the matchup. Imagine the flexibility this gives the defensive scheme, disguised coverages, more aggressive blitz packages, and the ability to adapt mid-game. That's the kind of versatility playoff teams have. When you step back and realize this draft class isn't just filling holes but setting the foundation for years to come, it becomes clear this could very well be the turning point for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, who's the rookie you're most hyped about this season? Go Falcons!